Hi everyone, welcome back to Stones Hill Homestead. This is Kim, and today I am making a cheesy sausage stuffed banana pepper. First thing I'm going to be doing here is frying up a pound of ground sausage and making sure that it's drained after I'm done frying it up. I'm going to chop it up here with my Pampered Chef mix and chop, and I love this tool. It just helps me chop up all the meat and get that all broke up into the pieces nicely. And I'm going to get that fried up. And I have a little bit of some frozen sausage yet there, but it'll be fine in just a few minutes. I'm going to start with 8-ounce block of Philadelphia cream cheese here in that bowl. The next thing I'm going to do is cut these banana peppers lengthwise, and then I'm going to de-seed them and take out the membranes in there, just opening them up. And these are some pretty good sized peppers. This is, like I said, this is a new recipe. Never tried it. It is coming from Mrs. Happy Homemaker. And I will link it down in the description for you. When we were looking at this recipe, I was doing some canning as well, and with the banana peppers, and these are the larger peppers. And I saw this and I thought, oh, I bet you that'd be a great appetizer. And as you will see in the end, I decided that it would be absolutely wonderful to also stuff jalapenos and have these a little bit more spicy. And that was a consensus with me and my husband. We both agreed that the spicy pepper would be a nice addition to this recipe. So I'm going to get these now cleaned out. I'm going to grab a spoon here and I'm just going to take all the seeds out, de-seed them, and I'm going to wash them, get them all cleaned up here. The one thing nice about this recipe is, like I said, it's a great appetizer. It's really quite easy. I was quite surprised on how easy it was to make this, and I think the kids would like them as well. This recipe also makes, with using the pound of sausage, and you're going to use, like I said, 8 ounces of cream cheese. You're going to soften that. It should be soft. I've just let it come to room temperature. And I placed them on parchment paper on the baking sheet just to help me out here, just for cleanup wise. And I've got the cream cheese, and now I'm going to pour in that drained and fried sausage. I'm just going to pour that into the cream cheese. And I start to stir it, and I think, oh, this is not going to work. So I go glove up. It was just easier to grab a glove and get in there with my hands. And I knew I had to fill the peppers anyway, but I just felt that it was going to be easier to glove up. But I just added, I added some pepper. It says garlic salt and pepper to taste. And I ended up adding probably half a teaspoon of ground pepper. Maybe it was more of a quarter teaspoon. But I'm not real sure. So a quarter to a half a teaspoon of ground pepper. Then I need garlic salt, and I wasn't sure how much to add of that. I ended up with some spice out of a container that I had on my shelf of garlic salt. And I put some in. I'm going to guess, I just showed you there, the garlic salt. I'm going to guess it might have been a tablespoon, maybe not that much. Maybe 1.5 or maybe just a half a tablespoon, maybe 2 teaspoons, a teaspoon and a half or so of the garlic salt. And I think that was plenty. I didn't need any more. It wasn't salty. It just really, with the flavors, it just all came together quite nice. And here I'm thinking, this is just, I do not want to mix this with a spoon. It's just not mixing the way I want it to. And so I'm going for the glove now. Here's the glove. I'm going to wipe that off the spoon, and I'm getting in there with my hands. The next thing that I need to add here is, once this is all mixed really good with that cream cheese, that sausage, excuse me, and the garlic, salt, and pepper, it calls for 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I did not use the shredded cheddar cheese. However, I used a Mexican blend of shredded cheese. I get it at Sam's, and I'm trying to use it up, and I thought that would be perfect for what I was looking. I wish now I would have added a little bit of heat to it, but again, it was the first time I've ever made it. I wanted to make sure that it was exactly what the recipe said. I always try to follow a recipe to a T in the beginning when I first make it. And since I'm making it for the first time for you all, as well as for us, I wanted to make sure I did follow the recipe. So I'm getting this all mixed up, and this was quite a easy, quick, come-together recipe. I was very impressed with it. I'm mixing it up. The other thing that it says is if you have leftovers of this mixture, which I did not, here I am. I'm going to fill that first, the first pepper here. I'm just going to smash it down in the pepper and then lay it back on the baking sheet. What it said that if you have any stuffing left or that filling left, you can just throw it in the fridge and keep it for the next batch if you don't use it all at once or use it for something else. Because everything in it is cooked. It's just a very versatile mixture, but I cut enough peppers to fill them all. I do have leftovers now for work this week, but I thought it would be great in jalapenos. So I'm still continuing to stuff all the peppers here, and they're filling really nicely. I'm just filling them up. I wish I would have had more uniform peppers from the garden, but you know, when you're dealing with fresh produce, sometimes you have some, I'm going to call it ill-shaped, weird-shaped fruit or vegetables. But it really went really nice. I'm putting these in there. Now, I left the stems on just for decoration. They say you can cut the stems off, but I left them just to be able to grab that pepper when I'm eating it at the end. But you can always trim those stems off if you don't want to bake them with it. I just thought they'd be nice to lay on a dish with the stem just to look nice, for appealing, just to look pretty, I guess. I just thought they looked cute with the stem still on them. And my husband, he thought that was fine too. He could grab it and pick it up to eat it. So we were pretty happy about all that. So I'm just trying to keep them on the parchment paper on the baking sheet. It was a very easy bake. I preheated to 400 degrees. When you see me put them in the oven, you'll see that my oven's set at 415 degrees. My oven is a little bit cool for the temperature that's on it. We've talked to people to fix it. However, they said it would cost more for the part than it would be a new stove. And we hope to get some new appliances when we remodel the kitchen at some point. And so I'm just going to make do with what I have. And this amount, I'm just so thrilled that this amount filled these peppers perfectly. I had no leftovers. There was a little bit at the end that I use for this recipe, or at the end of the stuffing, and I ended up adding it to one of the bigger peppers, and it worked out perfect. I'm not quite sure what to use all my banana peppers for, but I'm taking part in Every Bit Counts challenge from Three Rivers Homestead, and this is just one of those. I had a few peppers left and I wanted to make sure I use them. And again, this is meal prep for me for work. I won't have to cook all week. I'll have these plus some other meals I'm making. We have corn on the cob, hamburgers, just a lot of good stuff. Here I'm taking that last pepper and I'm putting more filling in it, smashing it in there. And there you have it. They are ready to go. I'm going to take that glove off. And here I'm headed towards the oven. I'm going to slide them in there. And they will be in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I had them in 28 minutes and they were perfect. And here they are coming out of the oven and they look wonderful. I'm going to plate up a couple here, and one of them, you can see the cheesy mixture kind of slid off the pepper during the cooking time, and that's the one I'm going for right there. I'm trying to put it back in the pepper, and I ended up eating it. It's fine. I was just so thrilled with these. I'm going to plate this up here, and I'll show you these up close. And these are a keeper. These were phenomenal. Absolutely love them. Look at them. They were just tiny. Perfect appetizer. That is a very small plate. So thanks again for joining me, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, laugh as much as you breathe and be blessed.